Looky-loo! So exciting! You guys, it is springtime and it is time for you to start your seeds. I started some a couple weeks ago and we're gonna start some more today. So this is my, I think, 6th year starting my garden from seed, and I've learned a lot and I wanna share some tips and tricks with you so you can avoid some of the mistakes that I made. So today I'm gonna show you how you can start your seeds. We're gonna start some together. I'm gonna show you the different pot options that you can use. We're also going to up pot some of these tomatoes in here, which I'm gonna show you how to do. If you don't know what up potting is if you start your seeds in smaller cells like this, once your plants get a little bit bigger, you need to up pot them into a larger pot so their root system has a little bit more space to grow. A lot of people don't remember that they have to do that, but I'm gonna show you how to do that, show you an alternative to if you don't want to do that, and then I'm gonna help you troubleshoot, because if you're like me and you've started your precious little babies from seed and you've spent so much time and effort and love, and then something starts eating them and it drives you bananas, I'm gonna share with you a solution that I've come up with this year. A couple years ago, I had a really bad fungus gnat problem, and the fungus gnat larva actually eats away the root system of your little seedlings, which is not great. If you have that problem, I'm gonna show you how to deal with fungus gnats. But this year, I didn't have a fungus gnat issue, and I don't really know what it was, but there was something eating my little seedlings. It was either a mouse or like a stink bug or like a cricket maybe. I don't know, but I'm gonna show you the solution I came up with, and it's working. And then lastly, I'm gonna show you how to make some cute little seed pouches. I saved a whole bunch of seeds for my garden last year. And if you have a ton of seeds to save, I wouldn't recommend saving them in these little pouches, which is what I started to do. I would recommend saving them in lunch bags like this, and then transfer them into smaller cute packets like this if you want to give them away to friends, if you want to donate some of them, if you want to sell them. I would put them in like little packets like this, but if you have a ton of seeds that you've saved, it makes sense to just put them in a lunch baggie instead of a million of these little guys. This is an old wine box that I keep all of my seeds in. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you store all of your seeds in a dry area. You don't want your seeds to be in a damp area at all. Just keep them dry. Old wine boxes are fabulous. You can a lot of times get these for free at your local restaurant, local steakhouse. Ask them to save you a couple wine boxes. This is duck horn, and it comes with little slots. It's like a fancier box. But these work perfectly for storing seeds. And then another thing I like to do is I like to group my seeds by the time I need to start them indoors. So these I've already started. This I've already started. So this, I make myself like a little card. This is my next batch of seeds I need to start indoors. I have it slated for like a week from now, but we are having a very early spring, so I think I'm gonna get a jump on this and start these this week. So stay tuned for later on. I am gonna show you exactly how to make these cute little pouches. First things first, let's talk about when you're going to start your seeds, what kind of trays and containers that you can start your seeds in. Now, you can start your seeds in cell packs, which is what this is. So this is a 15 cell pack. They do sell ones that you can get like a 40 cell where the cells are like super tiny. I used to use those because that's what's like for sale on the shelves when you go to the store. It's like, get these like 72 cell trays. I wouldn't do those unless you know that you're going to be up potting really quickly. Those little cells are so tiny that if you accidentally don't water them or you forget about them for a day or two, though, they dry out so quickly. And if your little seedlings get that stressed with inconsistent watering that early on, you're gonna have a problem. So I would definitely start with 15 cell packs as a minimum and then up pot from there. These tray packs specifically are incredible. I'll link them down below. I got these off of Amazon a couple years ago. They sell them on TikTok Shop now. The germination rate that I got with these cell packs was beyond. I'll insert a little clip here. Was beyond, like my mind was blown. So this is the root trainer with the sweet pea seeds. Nothing's happening here just yet. But look, I seeded these yesterday. No, the day before. 2 days. Are you kidding me? And like this has such a good seal, so the humidity in there is perfect. Are you kidding me right now? I think because the humidity dome that sits on top is such like a perfect fit that it really does create a nice humid environment for the seeds to germinate. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now, if you want to stick to the same size, it's like a cell seed tray, but you don't want to buy any more materials, you can reuse your nursery start containers. These are about the same size. I think I got some like herb nursery starts in here last year. So you can save these little guys and you can use these. This is a 12 cell pack of petunias that I got a couple years ago that I've saved a little tray from. You can also start seeds in larger like 4-inch nursery start containers like this too. You can see in here I've started some little tomatoes. Now the great thing with tomatoes is that you can grow multiple seeds in one container and then separate them. Tomatoes do a really good job when you're separating the roots. Not all plants do okay when their roots are disturbed, so just look up whatever it is that you're planting and see if they can be transplanted or if they can, you know, if they like to be up-potted or not. Start saving all of your nursery pots. You can start your seeds directly in here. You don't have to buy specific seed starting trays. You can just go ahead and do this. And the benefit of doing this, starting them in a little bit bigger of a pot, is you don't have to up pot them. And I'm going to get to up potting in just a second. But yeah, you can save some money and recycle all of your old nursery start containers. No matter what type of container that you will be using, if you're reusing it from a previous plant, you need to wash your containers. Your containers, if you don't wash them, there can be dormant disease, fungus, bacteria in your containers from the previous plant, and you don't want to introduce all of those things into your new soil and your new seedlings. So just put these in the sink with some nice warm soapy water, soak them, wash them up. Ideally, you would want to do this like the year before, you know what I mean? So after you plan out all your stuff, you wash your containers and you save them. But sometimes we just get so busy and we can't take care of it at the time. So before you go to plant this year, make sure you wash them up. Now let's talk about seed starting mix. I've been using this one this year. It's not my favorite. It's a little bit too rough, too dense. You're gonna want a seed starting mix that's like really light and airy and fluffy so your plants can establish roots relatively easily. You can see like how many like sticks are in there. I mean, this stuff is okay. It'll be fine, but it's not my favorite. I really like the Espoma seed starting mix. It's really nice and light. I think I got this on discount at Big Lots, so you get what you pay for. With any seed starting mix, you're gonna want it to be a little bit moist, not soaking wet and not too dry, but you're gonna wanna pre-mix some water in. You want it to be wet enough that if you make a ball, it'll keep its shape, but not wet enough to if you squeeze it, water is gonna come out. You know what I mean? I'm squeezing as hard as I can and there's no water dripping, but it's wet enough to hold its shape. This is perfect. When you fill your cells, you're just gonna tamp down your soil. This way we don't want like big like air pockets sitting in there. You don't want to like really compact it down, but you just want to make sure there's no like air pockets. Now, rule number one, and this is rule number one that I'm breaking, before you put any sort of seed in your seed trays, in your pot, whatever it is that you're planting, you want to write little labels for yourself that match what it is that you're planting. and put them in each cell, because you are never going to remember what you planted. You know, you think you're going to, but you never do. The reason I'm breaking this rule is because I ran out. And I'm getting a delivery today. They should be arriving this afternoon, but I got to film this video before they come. So I will be labeling these probably after I say goodbye to you. And then always read the back of your seed packet. This is going to have all of the information for you. If you get seeds that don't have a ton of information, just Google it. So I'm going to be starting these little red spikies today. The seeds are so tiny. Now, another mistake that I have made a million times, especially when seeds are this tiny, is putting way too many seeds in a cell. You really only need a couple just to make sure they germinate, because you are going to thin them out. Especially like snapdragons, you don't want to start like 40 snapdragons per cell. Then you're going to have to create more work for yourself and weed them out later on. So I know it's tempting to put a whole bunch in, but don't. Just do like 3 to 5 seeds to just make sure you get germination. And then once they start to sprout, you're going to want to thin them out, because plants are going to need to be spaced for this amaranth 12 inches apart. So you're not going to want to have like a million seeds per cell. You know what I mean? So these only need to be put in there about 1/4 of an inch. So what I like to do is just kind of disturb this top layer, just so they can kind of get buried in there. If you want, you can go on top with like a thin layer of soil, but this is always what I like to do, to kind of fluff it up. And then that gets them down in there about 1/4 of an inch. And then typically, the smaller the seed, the less deep they need to be buried. And then once you get them in there, you're just gonna very lightly water them in. This helps the soil settle and helps the soil settle around the seeds. So now the seed's in there, good to go. The only thing missing is our labels. All right, so next we're gonna pot up our tomatoes. Now, your plants need to have at least its first true set of leaves. These are not true leaves yet. These are just its little like seed pod leaves. All right, so this one right here is growing its first set of true leaves. Can you see that? This has a couple sets. So these would be ready to up pot, not just yet. These were a little bit stressed with the bug problem, but these tomatoes are definitely ready to up pot. So there are 2 tomatoes in this cell. Okay. So always use like a little tool to help you dig them out. And what we're gonna do is very lightly, very, very lightly separate the roots. So we have 2 tomato plants, and then we're gonna up pot them into their own container. And there we go. So now we have 2 tomato plants from that 1 cell pack. It looks like my sweet banana peppers never germinated, and it could be because these seeds are a little bit older. So I'm just gonna go ahead and reseed these 3 cells. I'm gonna do the same thing with the shishitos. I watered in all of the up pots, but you typically want to water everything from here on out from the bottom. You don't really want to get the leaves wet, and you don't really want to disturb them from the top, but when you are up potting them, you kind of want to compact the soil a little bit. So I'm gonna set these out, probably put them in front of a fan so they can dry off a little bit, and then I'll put them back under the light. So something was eating my seedlings. I'm gonna take you back in time and show you the tragedy. So I needed to figure something out because this has happened to me like 2 years in a row and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm thinking stink bug. Because if it was a mouse, like a mouse would eat all of it, right? They wouldn't, I don't know. But I got this garden mesh netting stuff. It looks like this. It's ultra fine. So I just wrapped this around the seed trays because they're protected when the humidity dome is on. But after things germinate and they start to grow, you have to take that humidity dome off. And that's when your seedlings are really susceptible to little gremlins. So this stuff has worked. And I was thinking of ordering more because I need to cover each tray. But I was just down there and I had the thought, instead of covering each individual like tray of seedlings, what if I just encased the entire like light growing rack thing with this? I think I might do that because I think it's going to be the same amount of material, but it'll be less hassle if I just like basically like put this around the entire thing instead of each individual tray, because I have to order more anyway. So I think that's what I'm going to do. When I do that, I'll show you. Oh, these are all of my wax peppers, giant bell peppers, lilac bell peppers, and Canterbury bells. Something ate them all. No, my heart is broken. I think that is good. So this is definitely working. It's keeping the bugs away from eating whatever it was that was eating my plants. And they're still obviously getting enough sun. You can see the tomatoes in the back. They're still getting enough light to where they can grow. So if you are having problems with something eating your seedlings, definitely try out this like mesh netting. Instead of like covering each individual little tray thing, I would just go around like this and like staple it to the outside and just like encase the entire grow light rack in this stuff. I think that's going to be way easier because this stuff is not like, it's not difficult to deal with. It's just kind of bulky. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to like cover the entire rack system with this stuff. Something ate my garlic. Great. So if you are dealing with a fungus gnat issue, you need 3 things. One is sticky traps, especially ones that are yellow, because apparently fungus gnats are attracted to yellow. You need to get some neem oil. I bought a bottle of concentrate, put some in here and diluted it, and then you're going to spray the tops. Neem oil works really well. But the true rock star of getting rid of fungus gnat larvae is diatomaceous earth. Make sure you get the food grade. This is just really finely ground up seashells. So be careful when you're working with it. Wear gloves and a mask. But when the little larva crawls over this, it will basically like cut them to death. I know it's kind of gruesome, but this takes care of that problem. So get yourself some of this stuff. It does wonders for many, many issues. All right, now I'm going to show you how to make these cute little seed packets from a grocery bag. I made this little template. Now what you're going to want to do is just kind of go around and fit as many templates on your paper as you can, and then just trace them out. Once you have your little template cut out, this is the exact same, right? Super duper easy. You're going to fold over this side. So you have the extension folded over. Then this little flap here is gonna fold over like this. We're gonna glue this little flap down. Glue it down right on top. Fold the bottom up. And we're gonna glue that part too. And we have our little pouch. Oh, this is where I peeled the handle off, but cute, right? While the glue is drying, I would put it under a book or something heavy. Okay, so again, you're gonna fold. So you have your top, your bottom, and then this little flap over here. Fold that excess over. Right? So it looks like this. Then you're gonna fold this little extra piece on top. Right? Little flap. We're gonna glue this down. And then this bottom piece right here, I'm gonna fold it up. I like to go ahead and make creases in my paper and then add the glue. I just find that to be a little bit easier. Ta-da! So cute. I'm just gonna stick this under here while that glue is drying. Here they are. Look at how cute. I hope you guys make some of these. I will get a template up for you over on my website. I'll link it down below so you can make your own. But if you just want to make your own, you already have a seed packet, just take it apart and trace it and make your own template. Well, I hope you guys had fun with me today. I'm going to plant some more seeds and I will see you all on the next one. Bye.